Good evening. Yo, I just had to go live before 12 because then this doesn't even count as a signature KM to AM. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just gonna be a AM KM. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. We got breaking news out of the NBA. KM to AM coming your way. I gotta switch studios. I'm over here in the Boomer and Geo studio. B and G. Shout out to Max Freed holding it down, Land of the Freed. I got that shirt on underneath. I went live earlier talking about these hats. I can't get jiggy with these hats. I got the Somerset Patriots cap on, though. Well, I got some on my hat right there. Hey, Giancarlo wearing this hat right now. But yeah, man. Shams is reporting right now some things. So in a couple minutes, I'm gonna go swing over to the other side. I'm just camped out here until the other studio is open. It is not open until they finish. It's late. You're hungry. You can't decide whether at least the app is working. Wendy's delivery. The Yankees post-game show is being broadcasted right now. So I'm just over here plotting and politicking. But yo, appreciate y'all. Will was like, "Yeah," and then he was like, "Yo, this Yankees post-game long is." I was like, for real. Still going. All right, that's my cue to go. This is the AM KM. 12 to 2. 2-hour show. Hope you feel better, Jared. The breaking news is the Knicks never had a plan in this, bro. And the league is not trying to help them. Big G was playing in Somerset. That's why I'm repping. Just got out of work. What up, Alex? Judge do anything cool? Of course. You already, bro. They blessed me. I'm not going to hold you. The Somerset Patriots got me for life. They blessed me. They showed me big love. Big love. All right, y'all. Let's go to the other side and let's get ready to do the show. Mets walk-off win. Yankees blowout win. But the Knicks, breaking news on the Knicks right now. And people in New York need to hear this. And we'll get to the calls. We'll get to the big shot of the night. We'll get to tell me something cool. We'll get to all of that. But who is going to coach the New York Knicks? Not me. I'm not going to do it. Nope. It ain't going to be me. All right. Let me hurry up and swing over there. Oh. You're getting the real behind the scenes. You feel me? Don't tell Boomer and Geo I was hanging out in here. Just kidding. I used to do shows in here at night. I used to do, I don't know. I feel like I would do the show in here before some of the guys learned how to switch. Studios. It used to be a thing where like they could not switch the studio. So we would start over there. But Yo, what up?
How are you?
Yo, I met your girl.
Yeah.
How random is that?
Yeah, she texted me. She goes, I met Keith. I'm like, McPherson?
In Legends, yeah. Yes, I'm the only one with the Kermit the Frog pop filter. Yeah, probably just it happens, you know. I have a backup one. Yeah, I have the case for it right here, and I didn't take it off. It's all good.
Get a great deal on the new Jeep private Dodge or Ram you really want, with 0 down payment and 0% financing available, plus the credit help you need. Save today the Nielsen way. Shop online at nielsendodge.com. Employee pricing plus. Some of the finest dishes in restaurants around the world are made in cookware. Not surprising, since Made In is crafted by chefs for chefs and designed for restaurants and home kitchens alike.
Now let me find out that's true. Rumors going around Rick Brunson got fired. I'm putting some Twitter searching behind that. I see what Shams is reporting, but Rick Brunson might as well be the damn coach at this point. Oh boy, I gotta go Knicks here. We'll get to the Mets walk off, but that happened 2 hours ago. We'll get to the Yankees blowout. They won 2 hours ago. This is rare with the Knicks because we just never talk about them this much consistently, which, like, in the last few years, they've been good, but they haven't been in the news. But when you're good and you get to the Eastern Conference Finals and you fire the coach and you don't have a plan, and everybody in the world is like, we knew you didn't have a plan. And no one's trying to help you, like, come up with a makeshift plan. It's tough.
It's a tight one here in New York. Bottom of the ninth, 2 out. The bathroom is flooding again. The toilet's throwing a no-hitter. Looks like your home is flooding. Just throw a wild pitch. Don't leave your house turn into the hut with DIY assistance. Call in the pros at Roto-Rooter. From leaky faucets to full-blown disasters.
Yo, chat, we're gonna try something tonight too. Audio and video. Try some different things I've been working on.
CardsForKids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to CardsForKids.org today. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
When it comes to getting the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go: Town Fair Tire. And when it comes to getting more free services for life than anywhere else on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go: Town Fair Tire. So when you're in the market for the best deal on Falcon tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats a Town Fair.
Okay, 4K webcam is back in service. I just had to update the software on the new MacBook I have and Elgato software. Not that the built-in camera sucks. It's fine.
Good morning at 12 o'clock. I'm Marco Valetti, and this report is brought to you by Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Water Cleanup. Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Apparently, the Knicks checking in on everyone for their head coaching position, even those with jobs. Reportedly denied permission to speak with both Rockets Ime Udoka and the T-Wolves' Chris Finch, and they have not asked about JKidd, but reports are Dallas, they're going to reject him too. Mets played a 2 in the 8th. Pete Alonso tied things after an RBI double from Juan Soto. It set up a walk-off for Jeff McNeil. Keith ran the call, Odyssey Mets Radio. McNeil knocked in a pair. Juan Soto is 12 home, while the bullpen 5 arms to combine on 4 2/3 scoreless innings. Yankees just dominate the Royals 10-2. Aaron Judge is 24th. It was a 469-foot mammoth drive. He drove in 3, but typical Judge downplayed the monster blast.
We haven't been camera and all, saw a lot of video, got some great stuff. So just anytime you get a 2-run lead like that and you got Max Fried on the knock.
Austin Wells went deep, knocked in 5. Max Fried gave up 2 runs over 7, his 9th win. 1 down, no Jazz Chisholm left this game neck tightness. And Giancarlo Stanton 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, a walk in his Double-A Somerset rehab assignment. Could make his season debut as early as this weekend against the Red Sox. And the Rangers and Ducks said to be in advanced talks for a trade that would send Chris Kreider to Anaheim. 70 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Talk New York sports here, the Fan. It's 8 a.m. to a.m. Don't let it in.
Yeah, let's get it quickly, New York City. This is a 2-hour AM KM, not KM to AM, because we're not starting in the PM, taking you to the morning. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so I know some of y'all might get with this and some of y'all won't. We got to start with the Knicks. I'm sorry, hey, listen, we have to start with the Knicks. The Mets game was over 2 hours ago. The Yankees game was over in the first couple innings. Like, we'll get to it. Taking your calls at 888-808-1019. We got to start with the Knicks because it goes back to all of the talk and all the things we've been thinking and saying about how this Tom Thibodeau firing came about. You've heard every host on this station talk about it. You've heard every call, and we've talked in circles on it. But there was never a plan here. So when you don't have a plan, this can be categorized as an overreaction. Some folks said a knee-jerk reaction. I didn't want to say knee-jerk reaction because I think it was heading here the whole postseason. But then once the Knicks beat the Celtics, it was like, okay, the coach was safe. No, heads had to roll because the main figurehead is back, and he sat there on the floor and watched the Knicks lose back-to-back games to the Indiana Pacers. Did y'all see the Indiana Pacers are putting up street signs now? You would think they would learn from the Knicks. Don't start putting up street signs around your arena with the players' names. I guess. I mean, they won the Eastern Conference. I guess they can do that. But anyway, news out of the NBA and the NBA world around the Knicks, surrounding the Knicks. You know, when I was first putting my notes together at home, I saw Mike Francesa tweeted out, Knicks asked for permission to talk to Chris Finch, and they were denied. And Chris Finch is the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that's another one off the board. Obviously, Ime Udoka is off the board. Jay Wright is off the board. Dan Hurley is off the board, right? Ian Begley writes, Knicks formally reached out to Rockets for permission to talk to head coach Ime Udoka, and Rockets denied permission. Mike Francesa said the Knicks reached out to Minnesota and were denied permission to talk to Chris Finch. And the Athletics' Kelly Iko reported last week that the Rockets had no interest in entertaining any Udoka, yada, yada, yada. Okay. But just minutes ago, Shams Charania puts out, the New York Knicks requested permission for Minnesota, confirm it. Rockets, confirm it. But then the Knicks have not requested permission for Mavericks coach Jason Kidd as of Tuesday night, but sources tell ESPN that the Mavericks would reject them. And once Shams says it, it's pretty much legit. He is the lead guy. There is no more Woj in that space. He has taken over Woj's space. And earlier today, if you follow me on Twitter, I was reading the tea leaves, and I think during the Yankees game I put out, coming up, on tonight's KM to AM, there was a report coming out of Dallas. Sam Amick, who covers the Dallas Mavericks, he's a senior NBA writer for The Athletic, the USA Today, Sports Illustrated. He put out an article where it reads, the Mavericks strongly believe that Jason Kidd will remain in Dallas and not coach the Knicks. They're telling people that quite loudly too. And there's a whole article in The Athletic about the Mavericks believing Jason Kidd will return. And that's pouring cold water on, I guess, the last day or two of conversation around mutual interest with Jason Kidd and the Knicks, and Dolan wanting him. And in 2020, Dolan wanted him. And, why would Jason Kidd leave Cooper Flag? And Kyrie is going to come back and all that. So where I'm at with the Knicks fans, and starting right here, how do you feel now? More names are coming off the board. It might just end up being Johnny Bryant again. There might not be a splash higher left. You might be sitting here after the finals, and the Knicks are going to confirm what a lot of us thought and knew, that they fired the coach being in their feelings. They fired the coach because heads had to roll. And when I say they, it's really Jim Dolan, James Dolan, being back involved, having those exit meetings, listening to a couple core players that might have had negative things to say or things that weren't great about Tom Thibodeau. And instead of staying the course, right, instead of running it back and giving this guy another year with this team that played 1 year together, instead of letting him finish out his extension that Leon Rose gave him. Leon Rose, I'm not looking at you. I know you're involved, but I just can't see the relationship that Leon Rose had with this man as his agent extending him, right? It would make no sense for Leon Rose to want to fire this man after they beat the Boston Celtics, the defending champs, one of the biggest upsets in recent history. I can't see Leon Rose being the one to say you're gone. Especially when after Game 6, Tom Thibodeau sat there talking about what they needed to do this offseason, and it being a big offseason for us. Not when Jalen Brunson took the podium and was offended when asked the question about, is Tom Thibodeau the right guy to lead you guys to a championship? 888-808-1019. Who is going to step up and coach the New York Knicks? There's been a lot of conversation about, is this an attractive job? Of course, the bright lights, New York City, the world's most famous arena, a team that's won 50 games back-to-back years with a different starting five, different group. They have star players. They're probably going to win another 40 to 50 games no matter who coaches them. But I think it is a daunting task for whoever comes in to know that you have to win the whole thing. You got to win the Eastern Conference, get to the finals. That's where the bar is set. And I think now it is becoming more clear. And I was saying this the last couple of days. It's not a plan if your plan hinges on another organization giving you the green light. That's not a plan. That's a hope. That's a wish. That's a dream. That's an idea. How do you fire the architect of bringing the Knicks back to relevance? How do you fire the guy that captained the ship, that made Jalen Brunson, helped make Jalen Brunson a star, that made you a thing again, brought you to the playoffs, and he just got as far as he's gotten, and you pull the rug from under him? For whom? Who is next? You can't do stuff like that without any idea of who is going to come in next. And now we wait and see. And they're not gonna know until after the finals. And I don't think they're gonna know for a little while, because now I think they're gonna be in a full-blown search for the next guy. And they're gonna have to interview some guys, and it's not gonna be as simple as, oh yeah, we'll just get another established coach with a name from another city. 888-808-1019. You can't feel great about that. As great as the Knicks made you feel this year, the euphoria, the wins, the highs, and even the lows of this run, this is a team that, when you look at the writing on the wall, as I've been talking about, the Heat losing in the Eastern Conference, the next year them going on to win, and get to the finals. The Pacers or the Celtics doing the same thing. And then last year, the Pacers, like the writing was on the wall for the Knicks to stay the course with Tom Thibodeau, for him to adapt, him to learn from his mistakes, not to be a dinosaur, evolve, get him a better bench, not journeyman, get him a deeper, better bench, and then let's see if they can take the next step in this upcoming season. Now you're kind of back to the drawing board, and I think some of the players are going to feel a certain type of way, and obviously the fans are going to feel a few different ways. And if this ends up being a step back, if this ends up being a disaster, this will be remembered for a long time. We'll play some audio. Wendy spoke. PJ Carlissimo spoke. A few other people spoke today that we'll get to, but I'll speak about the Mets and the Yankees quickly. Usually when we have baseball, I say to the victor go the spoils, assuming one team wins and the other team loses. But hey, we've got two first-place teams, two really good teams. I know you want to talk about a collision course for the World Series to be a Subway Series Fall Classic. I don't need it. I don't want it, but let's just enjoy where we are right now. Start with the Mets. Citi Field was rocking tonight. I could hear it on the radio as I watched the Yankees and I listened to 880. Club going up on a Tuesday. Good on you Mets fans for going there and packing that place out on a school night, on a work night, on a weekday against the Washington Nationals. Juan Soto revenge game. And you know what? Like, obviously, Juan Soto has no reason for revenge against the Nationals. But you can't deny that since it's turned to June, since it's warmed up, since Juan Soto got over that mental hurdle of returning back to Yankee Stadium and facing those fans, he's been dialed in. He's been locked in. He's been as advertised as he always was. 888-808-1019 to get the Met fan on the line. Francisco Alvarez gets put on paternity leave, and you go into this game knowing that, okay, I guess you're facing a team a slight step up in weight class from the Colorado Rockies, and Griffin Canning doesn't have it. Even though Griffin Canning has been great, he's still Griffin Canning. He gives it up right away, and you start to feel like, all right, well, you know, maybe it's not our night. But every night is your night in Citi Field. For the Make It Happen Mets, they never say die. They have a legit home field advantage with the energy of the fans, with how they play, and having last licks. I just knew that game, and I'm listening to the game. I just knew that game, they weren't going to lose that game. They had just battled the Dodgers in Chavez Ravine in extra innings, 10 innings. So you just knew, okay, they're at home. You know, they just played with Manfred's man on second. And when they put Acuna in the game, the fastest guy on the team, I'm like, this guy can score from second if that ball ends up in the outfield. So Reed Garrett gives the Nationals nothing after Edwin Diaz did his stuff. Edwin Diaz looks great. And here comes Happy Jeff. Swings at the first pitch he sees and calls game. Place is rocking. A walk-off double for Jeff McNeil, and everybody runs on the field, and Jeff McNeil is the man. He had the 2-homer game on Sunday. He had the poker tournament Monday night, and he's the winner of the game tonight. He'll be, you know, stay tuned for the big shot of the night. He'll be mentioned again, but you can't not mention Juan Soto. You can't not give credit where credit is due. Of course he struggled. Of course there was a ton of conversation around his contract and the Yankees and him wanting to still be a Yankee and how he's not adjusting well to being a Met, and he doesn't want he wants to play baseball. He wants to be himself, and he's staying patient, and he's happy to be where he is, and he's happy that he's winning on the best team in the National League. You know, how buns are the Philadelphia Phillies? And how trash are the Atlanta Braves? Like, the Mets should actually run away with this division in the month of June. June is their month. Grimace's birthday coming up. That Mets pride is showing. Juan Soto in the month of June so far. Joe DeMeo writes on Twitter, he's slashing 367, 588, 733 with a 1291 OPS, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in, and a 12-5 walk to strikeout ratio. And he homers tonight, a solo shot that he admires. And honestly, the right fielders for the Nationals blew the game for him. Mackenzie Gore showed up. The Nationals' right fielders did not. They cost him the game. It was first Alex Call on that Jeff McNeil bloop single, and then Robert Hassel on Soto's double. Much credit is due to Starlin Marte. Not just for the walk, which he was down 0-2 in the count, and he gave you a veteran professional at bat in the 8th inning when you have to rally, when you have to start feeling like, okay, we got to make it happen here. Here come the make it happen Mets. But also for his leadership and his guidance of Juan Soto, being a friend to Juan Soto, de lo mio personal. Like having a guy like Starlin Marte there who was rumored to be traded because Juan Soto was coming in to essentially take his spot, play his position. Marte has been instrumental in kind of guiding Juan Soto through being a Met and how the Mets do things. And tonight in that 8th inning, when I think Lindor struck out and Mauricio struck out, you know, if you go down in that 8th inning, it's a different game. And when you get what you got out of, what's his name, Justin Garza. Yeah, big props to Starlin Marte for working a walk and letting Juan Soto double. And then here comes MVP, the polar bear, paid Pete. He's still money. He was smelling a double, but he singles, and that ties the game, and he gets thrown out at second because he's not that graceful. He's a polar bear. 888-808-1019. Got the Knicks out of the way, the Mets out of the way, and we'll go to the Yankees now. All rise. Aaron Judge does it again right away. Hopefully you got your popcorn ready, had your dinner, were in your seat, and didn't miss Aaron Judge smack another ball. And everybody was coming out to say they've never seen a ball hit further out there in Missouri and Kauffman Stadium. Yankee Encore is starting right now, so I have the pleasure of watching it live. I didn't see it live. I was listening to the game. I was on daddy duty. But when I came out to watch the game, I rewind that one a bunch of times. I'm like, geez. Smacked a massive shot almost out of the stadium. Like, the thing about Judge is, like, at 6'7", 270, like, when he swings like that, like, the power that he has. Anyway, Justin Shackle and David Cohn on the call out there, facing Noah Cameron, who coming into the game, like, the Yankees hadn't seen him. A 0.85 ERA. I think his whip was 0.79. Like, a small sample size, but a left-handed pitcher, you know how the Yankees get down against left-handed pitching at times, or at least in the past, they would struggle. And you know the Yankees are good for making anybody look like an ace. They did it last week with Luis L. Ortiz. It's like anybody can step up against the Yankees and make them look like an ace. The captain silenced all of that again. Dad strength. That's his longest homer since 2018. I saw a stat today. The last player with 240 hits in a season was Ichiro Suzuki in 2004. Judge is on pace for 240 this year. He's breaking the game. He is breaking the stats and the imagination of baseball fans. He's breaking the game. And shout out to Aaron Boone changing the lineup again. I've taken some calls recently. Like, out of all the gripes with Boone, I don't ever say anything about the lineup changing. They're going to change the lineup. And like a night like tonight, everybody gets some. Everybody get on. Trent Grisham in front of Judge, works a walk. Trent Grisham had 2 hits. Belly, congratulations on the milestone, 1,000 hits. For what the Belly, saved by the bell, Cody Bellinger. Volpe, 2 hits, leading the team in doubles. Dominguez had a 3-hit night. He was showing off. He had that teardrop dropping out there in right field in front of Jack Caglione. Jack Caglione, the top prospect of the Royals, who was making his home debut tonight. That kid, he's 6'5", 250. He couldn't get to the ball out in right field. Judge dropped one in front of him, too. They moved him to first base. He had a nifty play. Jazz had a nifty play at third base. You see Jazz talking trash with Miguel Garcia. I think it was Miguel Garcia. And I think it goes back to Miguel Garcia and Volpe's beef. Jazz was basically like, yo, if he tags me like that again, he said, I'm going to tell you one more time. I'm going to tell you one more time. If he tags me like that again, I'm going to smack the out of him. And then next thing you know, Jazz is out of the game with neck stiffness. But we end up seeing a lot of different things from this Yankees game tonight. JC Escara at first base and Benny Blanco Arroz behind the plate. There he is, catching. Viva la Máquina. DJ LeMahieu. I'm sorry, bro. I tried to close the book on. You know what happened with DJ LeMahieu? They tried to write him off, and he didn't write back. Okay, at least I wasn't muted the whole time. I'm toying with some settings to get us some better audio. If you notice, I had a different mic what I want to do here, I'm going to try something right now. Oh, man.
Again, that's 800-750-2525. Hey, this is Tiki Barber. Now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years because at Verizon, they've got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credit applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Your moment is waiting at NBA Draft 2025 presented by State Farm. Get behind the scenes access, exclusive hospitality, and premium seating to witness the future of the league with NBA Experiences presented by Dash Pass. Go to NBAExperiences.com/WFAN radio to secure your VIP access.
Hi, we're Wren Kitchens. In our 50-year history, we've made and installed millions of quality kitchens, and now you can find us at the Home Depot across the tri-state area. With thousands of styles and colors to choose from, we offer a free home measurement service and expert design consultation. All of our kitchens are made in the U.S. and delivered directly to you and installed by our specialist fitters. We cut out the middleman to save you money. And with our flexible financing, you can spread the cost over 7 years. Come down to Wren Kitchens at the Home Depot now. Finance subject to credit approval. Offers may change. See website for more details.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite teams here on The Fan.
The big shot of the night is brought to you by WFAN and me, Keith McPherson. Bright lights, big city in New York. You know we got a bunch of big shots. And we got to pour up a double shot tonight. One for Austin Wells and another for Jeff McNeil. Let's start with Austin Wells. This guy is coming along. I mean, he did it in the Red Sox series, but he did it again. Tonight, you love to see it. A career high 5 RBI. Obviously behind the plate for Max Fried. Austin Wells goes out there tonight and just cracks one again. Another homer in the 4th inning off Cameron, and he's been rolling. Don't look now. He's got that average up about 20 points. And when you look at his last few games, his last 7 games, he's hitting .348 for average. He's got 2 homers, 8 hits, 9 runs batted in. And I can't be mad about Austin Wells' performance right now. Happy Jeff McNeil. I'm giving him respect. I'm giving him some love. I know Met fans say they hate this guy. I don't know why. You need this guy. The same way Austin Wells was doing damage in the bottom of the order, in the 9 spot. Your team is much better having Jeff McNeil down there in the 8 spot. He can play 2 positions. He's a veteran. He has adjusted to the shift or the banning of the shift. Pete Alonso was talking about the work that he's putting in. This guy drove in the run that kept you in the game, and then he drove in the run to win the game, coming off a 2-homer game and his 2nd annual poker night. So shout out to Jeff McNeil and shout out to Austin Wells, your big shots of the night. 888-808-1019. Keith McPherson on The Fan. Let's take some calls now, talking about the New York Knicks as they are running out of options. The league will not help you.
It is a competition. And, even so, like, talking about the Knicks, you got to give to get. What were they going to get? Like, what? I don't know. What were they going to give up to get Jason Kidd? Like, it wasn't going to be that simple. So let's get to the phones, talking to Knicks fans, talking to Yankees fans and Mets fans coming off the win. Avery is in Manhattan on the Fan. What's up, Avery?
Hey, Keith. It was good to see you the other day.
You as
Are
well.
we not allowed to ask? We're not allowed to ask how are you anymore after that whole fiasco on Evan and Tiki.
I don't know. I got nothing to do with that. I'm not sure what that's about. They said you can't ask. You can't ask the whole. Well, see, like, it's different. It's probably a pace thing with them. In the afternoon, they've got 4 people talking for 4 hours, and they don't want you to ask how they are. You can always ask me how I am. I'm a human being. I'm a person, and I take that as a regular greeting. Like, hey, how are you? Sometimes I don't even answer because I'm just waiting for you to get to it. I'm good. This is a quick show tonight, and I'm still going to give you your time.
Something is in the air tonight. I don't know what it is. With the Knicks and everything that's going on, and the Rangers are getting Chris Kreider, and I'm not going to get into that in depth right now. I want to get into the Knicks thing because that's the topic of conversation. It's just kind of crazy, all of this that's been going on. It's really just concerning to try to tell what direction they're going. And I know that's the concern, right? Yesterday everyone was talking, it's James Dolan's fault. He's the one who orchestrated this. He's the one who's the man behind the mask, I guess, if you will. Because as you're saying, Leon Rose, he's not going to get pushed around. I mean, he's going to hold his ground, right? But
I don't know.
We have every reason to think
know
that Dolan can mess this up.
So
it's really, it's just an endless spiral.
You know what's funny, Avery? We talk so much about what Leon Rose is and how he thinks. Like, I always hear, he doesn't need this job. He's not going to get pushed. We don't know because we never hear from him. We don't know. He's behind the curtain. Like, I have no idea what this guy's personality is like. I don't know what this guy's wants and hopes and dreams are. I don't know. I think he obviously answers to a boss. I think James Dolan can overrule him, and I think that's exactly what went on here.
So you're saying that you think that Dolan confirmed it or that it was Dolan's idea?
I think that at the end of the day, it was Dolan's decision. I don't think Leon Rose makes a rash decision like this. I think at the end of all of the exit interviews and discussions, Dolan said, I've seen enough. This is not the guy. I've heard enough. That'll be all.
Man, it's just one of those things that we just have no idea. We have so little information to work with. But I will say this. The more that we see each team turn the Knicks down, the more concerning it gets. And I'm telling you, if they bring in a first-year coach or an experienced head coach in the NBA, that is not going to work out for them. They are not in the kind of position to be able to afford that kind of liability if somebody doesn't have this kind of experience.
Riveting.
That's my opinion, at least.
I can't wait to watch.
I guess we'll see what happens. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, Avery. 888-808-1019. And there are a lot of people preying on the Knicks' downfall. Not saying that's me, but I like what I'm saying is you cannot have a plan that hinges on other franchises helping you out. They're all competing against you. They all want to win. They want to see you take a step back. They want to laugh at you. They want Dolan to be pretty much assed out, like trying to figure it out. And they want it to blow up in his face. They're not going to just hand you a big name proven coach. You had one. You had one. Josh is in Passaic. Josh, what's up, man? You're on the Fan.
Yo, Keith, what's doing, man?
Hanging out and quickly going to take these calls and talk about these 3 New York teams, the 2 baseball teams, and, of course, the New York Knicks.
You mentioned how no team wants to help out the other. Especially the Mavericks. Maybe they're upset since they got Kristaps Porzingis who didn't know how to stay healthy. You've had where they stole that pick from the Knicks, and now why would they want to give? Why would they want to give their coach to the Knicks? They're not looking to go and help them. And you have a coach that's training for coach. I mean, this is an idea that's always floating around. If the guy's gonna fit all that, what you want to give up. There's no step value with that. But I'm wondering. I know there's no way it's possible, but I can't wait till Aaron Rodgers gets on Pat McAfee and says he wants to go for the next job.
What? Aaron Rodgers announced today that he is officially married. Congratulations, Aaron Rodgers, on tying the knot. He's going to play one more year, and then he's going to be happily ever after with, I don't know who his girl is. Wasn't he dating that actress? I don't really know. But I think Aaron Rodgers is cooked, and I am very interested in seeing what Mike Tomlin gets out of him with the Steelers. But yeah, no, he's not coming back to New York. He's long gone. He's out in P-Town.
It would be amazing though if he starts talking about that, how they got a solid team. The owner is involved, he's not involved. The GM's on the hot seat, and it was just this guy's the type to go out and say that he wants. But anyway, who knows what's going to go with that goose chase? But anyway, before I get to baseball, we always take our hits at Philly and stuff. Hey, I went there Sunday night for an event. Hey, that city's got nothing on New York. It's barely anything. It looks like, I don't know, if you got dropped off there, you think you're in some city in the West. It's not that big, and these guys being big talk how Philly's like New York. It's not close, Keith. I can tell you that.
Nah, Philly, some of the hoods in Philly are like New York used to be before gentrification and business and money. There are some places in Philly that are scary out of a horror movie, and there's no reason to go to Philly, even to go. Only time I ever go to Philly is to go watch the Yankees play at Citizens Bank Park or go to the Wells Fargo Center. I've never been to the Link, and that's on purpose. I hate going to Philly. I don't have any interest. I went to the draft out there at Benjamin Franklin Park or something like that. It's the people. It's their fans. I don't want to be around them for any reason. So, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, so it was in Wells Fargo, but I think they're changing names, so we got to speed it up all then. It wasn't Philly. It's more of a New York event, just near a stadium. But anyway, looking at the Mets, kid, do you think now we can put enough confidence in Starling Marte now as more, not everyone was talking about dump this guy, don't put him in the lineup. Do you feel right now that we can have confidence in him as a player, and not have to look for a replacement by trade deadline?
That's why I stressed the importance of his friendship and relationship with Juan Soto. They didn't meet when Juan Soto came to spring training. I think he's important to have on the team as a veteran. Juan Soto, after the game, was interviewed and was asked about that at bat. And the first thing he said was, that's a 12-year MLB veteran giving you a professional at bat. Starling Marte is 36 years old. And he's 10 years older than Juan Soto. That's the big homie. I feel like, if they wanted to get rid of Marte, Soto would be fine. But I think he's been instrumental in helping Juan Soto get acclimated to being a Met.
Everyone always remembers that moment by the home run derby, and by the All-Star, where Marte, was jumping on them, and everyone's still talking about trading for Soto and stuff. But before that, you mentioned how McNeil had no Mets fans want him. He's kind of, he's become somewhat like DJ LeMahieu. These guys, you can't drop them. You finally think you can get rid of them. These guys are old.
Those two, yes, those two are very similar.
Right.
Second base, batting titles. Thanks for the call and the comparison there. This is a night where we talk about the resurgence of Jeff McNeil and DJ LeMahieu, those two batting champs that play second base, that got paid. They're up there in age, and everybody was ready to quit on them. Everybody said that they're done. They can't do it anymore. They're doing it right now. And it's welcomed in the bottom of the order. You know what I'm saying? I will shut up. And you know what I did say about DJ? Fool me, can't fool me again. But actually, because we needed another right-handed bat, I'm willing to be fooled. I'm willing to give you an opportunity to disappoint. And he hasn't disappointed. DJ LeMahieu's been good. Aaron Boone's backing him. Judge is backing him. I'm quiet about it. He's batting eighth. Jeff McNeil is batting eighth. To have former batting champs that low in the lineup, helping you turn over the lineup, when pitchers think they can relax down there, you're getting a veteran at bat. It's a sneaky weapon to have, and those guys aren't done yet. They're not done yet. So they're commanding respect right now. I'll take it. 888-808-1019. Let's go to Lou and Astoria on the Fan. Hello, Lou.
Hey, how are you, Keith?
I'm good. How are you?
How's the family? How's your son?
Great. Just big, strong, and opinionated, and not a baby anymore. and a little dude that can talk and that can just, do a lot of different things very quickly. So
How old is he now? Is he walking around the house?
oh, of course. He turned 2 on April 13th. So we're coming up on him being, 2 and 2 months here. And like he might as well be a 3-year-old because he's pretty big. And yeah, it's different now for me. I gotta wrestle him. I gotta fight him just to get him to cooperate.
That is just great. Just get ready because he's going to be ready to play sport. I don't know what you're going to have him on, but he's going to decide that whatever he likes. Okay?
Whatever. Just give me one sport. If it's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever
football,
it is.
with the concussion and all that stuff, I'd rather he play baseball.
Football is soft now. By the time my son starts playing football, it's super soft right now. I would love for him to play football. Like I played football growing up, and you had to bang.
Just because he did that, but remember, he's your child now. You don't want him to get hurt either. Whatever he's good at it, let him do it.
I don't know. I don't fear the concussion. Playing football, I learned a lot of lessons on that field. It helped make me who I am. I definitely encourage him if he wants to play. And they got the helmets and the technology, and football is not what it used to be. But anyway, Lou, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you advice. Like you don't need it. You know what to do. Anyway, Luis Severino last year said that the Yankees only had 2 good hitters. Okay, I don't know if you remember that.
Of course, that was like the little juice for that rivalry.
Now, this year, at the beginning of the first 2 months, we had quite a few good hitters. Right now, besides Judge, I'm not satisfied. I don't like what's going on that Wells and Jazz and the shortstop, contributor once in a while. I got to see consistent. Something is bothering me about that right now everybody's like going into a slump. I'm glad that DJ, a guy that you didn't want the team, neither did I, is doing very well right now, okay? But it just bothered me to hear that. I want to talk about Peter Alonso, if you don't mind.
Yeah, but okay? I just disagree with you. They scored 7 runs or more in every game in the Red Sox series. Obviously, Judge is leading the way, but like on a night like tonight, everybody got some. They had 16 hits. Where's the slump?
Yeah, but it happened once in a while. Keith, you got to understand
that's baseball, Susan. It's a hard sport. It's a hard sport to play. Dominguez had 3 hits tonight.
Dominguez had, listen, the best ball that he hit, it should have been a base hit, and he was out. The other ones were yes. Come on.
Yeah, but they had 6 guys with multiple hits tonight. Tonight's just not the night to pick at the lineup and say that they're slumping.
I'm not picking up on that. I'm just letting you know that right now, I don't think that we're really that great right now, okay?
That's fair.
So let me go to Peter Alonso.
They got humbled by the Red Sox. That's fair.
Exactly. When good pitching, you saw what happened. But anyway, on Peter Alonso, they had in the afternoon show, they were talking about what it would take to have Peter Alonso sign with the Mets. And they say, well, you know what? It's going to take maybe $50 million difference. Somebody comes and pay $50 million more than the Mets.
A year?
Huh?
A $50 million in total contract?
No, I'm saying more than with the Mets to offer, that he might walk away. Pete, right now, okay, he was very much offended and disrespected by the Mets, okay, when they didn't give him, when they took that long to sign him, okay. Right now, he's producing. He's the best besides Soto right now. And Soto is the reason why he's really producing, because he has to learn how to stay patient, hit with the pitcher's pitch, and he's becoming a pretty good hitter, okay? Now, I don't know if you remember. You remember when Derek Jeter, and a long time ago, he became a free agent, and he decided to tell the Yankees, I want $20 million a year, or whatever, 10 years or whatever, and the GM, that stupid idiot GM that we had, offered him $6 million and told him, listen, go out there. If you get more than what we're giving you, we'll match it, okay? He came back. Nobody offered him that, okay? What I'm trying to say is this. If Derek Jeter was offered $20 million and 10 years from the Red Sox, forget about how loyal you are, okay? He would have left because it's all about the money. I'm talking about, if Pete right now gets the most money for anybody else, he's going to leave. What's your thought on that?
Thanks for the call, Lou. I'll take it from there. Jeter wasn't going anywhere, and he wasn't going to be a Red Sox. You see how he acts on TV with Ortiz when they present him anything Boston Red Sox, a Red Sox jersey with Jeter on it. It was leverage. He was saying he knew how much he meant to the fan base, and Brian Cashman always plays with all of these guys. I had a rant about how Brian Cashman has played with my 3 favorite Yankees. He played like that with Judge. He played like that with Jeter. He played like that with Bernie as far as contract negotiations. He tried to call their bluff. Ultimately, they all won and got the contract that they wanted, needed, and they finished their careers as only Yankees. Pete Alonso, in my opinion, is going to finish his career as only a Met. They have the richest owner in the sport. There is nobody coming in that can outbid Steve Cohen. We just saw what he did when he wanted Juan Soto. He wants Pete Alonso to continue. Come on. Pete Alonso is about to break this record. He's about to break this home run record. I don't care what anyone tells you about like personal records not being important or not. It matters. It means something, especially for the Mets. Especially for the Mets to have that day, for their fans to have that day at Citi Field. For the Met fan, right, that saw a couple years ago Judge chasing down 60, 61, 62, and how many people showed up to Yankee Stadium. It's not going to be the same thing, but it's going to be a similar thing as far as fans are going to be sitting in those seats and filling up that ballpark in Flushing, anticipating being there to catch that historic home run ball, get a TikTok reel video of it. It's coming. It might happen before the All-Star break. And Steve Cohen knows the value in that. He knows the value in Pete Alonso. He will have the final say. David Stearns doesn't want to give him the long-term deal. But you know what? Pete Alonso's going to work with them. They just paid Pete the highest paid first baseman. They gave him a ton of money this year. And look what he's turned into. Look at the difference a year makes when you give the guy some security. He's got his first kid on the way. They're going to take care of this dude. 888-808-1019. Why wouldn't they? He's balling right now. He's in conversation to be the MVP in the National League. He's going to be a legitimate all-star this year. You want to keep him batting behind Juan Soto. All those plans that you had of Mark Vientos being the guy, we're going to get Vladdy, Now, you might look at Vladdy's contract. Pete Alonso is older than Vlad. I think by 5 years, he's not going to get as big and long of a deal. It is not something that is going to keep Steve Cohen up at night. Scott Boras is going to try his mightiest to get the longest contract, the most years and highest AAV for Pete Alonso if Pete Alonso continues this year. And I put that if there for a reason. This is a great start. It is June 11th. He's got to continue this the rest of the season and into the postseason. Because honestly, if he didn't have the heroics in the postseason last year, a lot of y'all would have been out on him. You wouldn't have been at Amazing Day chanting, we want Pete or Pete Alonso. I'm listening to the game today. They're breaking out into Pete Alonso chants as he's coming up to tie the game. The fans are going to get what they want because Steve Cohen is a people pleaser. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. After we come back from the break, I'm going to take another call. But there's an article in Sports Illustrated. Pete Alonso reveals 4 reasons he re-signed with the Mets. This guy doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to be a forever Met. You don't have too many of those guys. You're about to, I'll let somebody else talk about it. I just keep hearing all this stuff. I'm like, you have the owner that can just literally press the button. The money is not a thing. And Pete Alonso has earned it. If he doesn't age gracefully, if his body type, whatever, you worry about that later. The Mets are trying to win a World Series now, this year. They're trying to win a World Series in this window in the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years. Pete Alonso's 30. I wouldn't worry so much about like what team is coming in. You can even start picking off some of the teams that have first baseman. And you can also pick off teams that don't spend that kind of money. Scott Boras is going to get him paid, but he's going to get him paid right where he got Brandon Nimmo paid, right where he got Frankie Montas paid, right where he got Juan Soto paid. 888-808-1019. Miriam in Forest Hills on the fan before we go to the break.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm.
With all this craziness, you okay?
I gotta pick up the pace because I only got a couple hours tonight. This is a 12 to 2 show.
Two things. A, Pete Alonso isn't leaving. The polar bear is there. Don't worry about it. B, how's mommy, daddy, and kitty?
I mean, I'm good.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a head cold. Was trying to catch some extra sleep, but it's because it comes from the baby and not sleeping correctly. But I'm good. My wife is great. My wife is amazing. She's working hard, and her and I are working together and raising a beautiful kid. And my son is awesome. My son is smart and strong and healthy. We're extremely blessed to think about what we've made happen in this world. I pray and I thank God every day because his plans are greater than my own.
How's the baby boy? You good boy, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to know about the cat, shout out to Toon. Toon is holding it down.
That a girl.
The thing with my son is he disturbs her peace. She wants to be left alone, and he doesn't have any type of. I like it. Kind of messes me up because like that's my girl. Like she sleeps with me. I take care of her. I feed her. I change her kitty litter. All that. But my son, he's a terrorizer. When she's minding her business, he's throwing stuff at her. He jumps on the couch. He just
no.
And I can't stop him. I can't stop him.
What you have to do, hold the cat on your lap, hold your son on your lap, say, play nice, kitty.
No, this dude he's a maniac. Like my son doesn't sit still. If he'll sit on my lap for a couple minutes, it's only if Blippy is on. But when Toon is around, Luna Tuna, like he has to mess with her. But here's the thing that he does, which is nice. He always wants a Luna kiss. He says, Luna kiss. He'll put his cheek to Luna and she'll give him a peck. And I'm like, all right, you guys are being good. And even though he terrorizes her, when I put him to bed at night and he's kicking and screaming and fighting, she's outside the door, like trying to get in. So like they have their own little relationship
You should do what I did when Julie was little. I got one bed for Julie, one bed for Joey, and they would sleep at the end of my bed in their beds. She has a bed of her own.
She does.
Yeah.
I have a cat bed for her. It's super soft.
Yeah.
It's flat at the end of the bed. She wants to sleep on my groin.
No, that's not good because if she has
up
claws,
my back. I have a scratch on the inside of my right leg from her clawing me. I'm mad about it because it's hot out. I want to wear shorts, and I'm like, this is an ugly scar from
No,
Toon.
you can't. I have scratches on my hand. I mean, you have to understand this is what she knows how to do. So what you have to do
I don't hold it against her. I know she doesn't know any better.
She doesn't. This is how she lives. If you do what I do when I get on the floor or I hold him on my lap and I pet nice and I say, I love you, and you have to teach the baby to say, I love you, Mom.
You always say gentle, Jack, gentle.
Yes, that's right. And say, I love you, Toonie, because this is how she lives. She has claws. Okay. And he knows that. But he can't be jumping on her and doing all that because he doesn't understand that that's people. You have to say no. I've been through this with 5 different cats at different ages.
This is my first one, my only one, and my first son, and I'm dealing with these two at the same exact time.
Yes. Now, second question is, the Mets are doing just fine because everybody's hitting in order. If you leave them alone and let them play, they will win the playoffs. They will get further than they did last year. Let them play one game, one inning at a time.
Correct. Thanks for the call and the cat talk, Miriam. The thing about the Mets is they make it happen. They never say die. And even when Griffin Canning doesn't have it, they say, no problem, bro. You can get us through 5 1/3. Copy. Jose Butto, Castillo, Garza, Diaz, Garrett, do your stuff and let the big boys figure it out. 4 runs was not beating them tonight. The Mets win 5-4 in 10 innings. The Yankees win 10-2. And that game was over after the 6th inning. Keith McPherson on the fan. Coming up, we'll do Tell Me Something Cool. This show is over in less than an hour. Dial 888-808-1019 if you want to talk to me. I'll be right back.
Paying all those streaming services and getting your meals from a vending machine? BT and Sal ain't charging. Hang with your boys for lunch. Catch.
Okay, yo. Let's see. Let's do this. All right. Okay. So what you just heard was, I took my headphones and I also brought a mic in here and I put the headphones on the mic. So does that sound better than the call sound coming from the monitor above down? You're able, because that, and also you're able to hear me without me hitting off and on. So yeah, I don't know, working on it. Appreciate everybody pulling up in the chat. I meant to send this on my Instagram. I need like an automated thing. Link is in the chat. Posting the link to my Instagram.
Good morning at 1 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti, and this report is brought to you by Police Officers Right to Sue.com. Knicks reportedly denied permission to speak with both the Rockets' Ime Udoka and the T-Wolves' Chris Finch about their vacant job with the Mavericks. would reportedly do the same if they asked to speak to JKidd. And the Knicks continue to run to roadblocks as their search to replace Tom Thibodeau. Rematch from last year's playoffs, and it was Aaron Judge that set the tone. Moonshot for Judge is 24th. It traveled 469 feet. Austin Wells went deep, knocked in 5. Yankees disposed the Royals 10-2. Dave Sims, the call here on the Fan. Max Fried, 7 innings, a 2-run ball for his 9th win. Jazz Chisholm left this game with neck tightness, said he expects to play Wednesday. Meanwhile, Giancarlo Stanton, 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, a walk in his double set Somerset first rehab assignment. Could make his season debut as early as this weekend against the Red Sox. Mets walked it off for the Nationals 5-4-10 on a Jeff McNeil RBI single. Juan Soto went deep, drove in a pair. Pete Alonso had the game-tying RBI single during a 2-run 8th, while the bullpen continues to shine. 5 arms combining to strike out 7 over 4 2/3 scoreless after Griffin Canning allowed 4 runs over 5 1/3. And it might just be the end of an era for the Rangers, reportedly in advanced talks to trade Chris Kreider to the Ducks. 70 degrees, cloudy skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Yeah, after whatever rejoin beat, just drop it.
Hey, tell me something cool. Hey, I know you're gonna think this is cool right here. So for years, Old Timers Day, Yankee Stadium was a huge day. I remember the last one I think I went to was 2015. Once the pandemic hit, they got rid of that. I was reading an article today on NJ.com by the great Bob Clappish. Yankees have a historic event up their sleeve for Old Timers Day. Honestly, the first part of this article put a lot of the blame on Derek Jeter. Little did I know, as we've already talked about Jeter tonight, Jeter didn't want to come back and have to be forced to take over be forced to reclaim his spot at shortstop. He didn't want to play in the game. But he has agreed this year to play in a softball game. So August 9th, 2025, for the first time in the game's history, the Old Timers will play softball in Yankee Stadium. Looking forward to it. Jeter agreed to participate. We'll see who else participates. It is going to be a great day. I mean, Old Timers Day used to be all day, bro. You get out there early, you get some coffee, you get some breakfast, you go in the stadium early, you're there literally all day. And that went away for a while. And it's funny, I said the last one I went to was 2015. 10 years later, I'll be back to see this one August 9th. Also for the Met fan, right? The Mets have an Alumni Classic game coming up September 13th. Shea Stadium versus Citi Field, Saturday, September 13th. And I'm sure the Met fan has heard about that. There's already rosters out, managers. Willie Randolph, Bobby Valentine will manage the Shea Stadium team. Terry Collins, Jerry Manuel will manage the Citi Field team. You can see Bartolo Colon, R.A. Dickey, Matt Harvey on the Citi Field team. You can see John Franco, Al Leiter, Pedro Martinez. Shout out to Pedro Martinez. He had a random tweet today. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet today. Did I clip it? I don't know. Pedro was just feeling some type of way today. He wanted to, throw flowers at the Yankees. He said, the thing that impresses me the most is how the Yankees present themselves, the culture that they have. It's a presence unlike anybody else. It must be the pinstripes. Hashtag MLB on TBS. I don't know. I guess the game was on TBS. And also, we all know Pedro always wanted to be a Yankee. He got to be a Met. Anyway, 888-808-1019. Looking forward to Old Timers Day in Yankee Stadium, August 9th. And the Alumni Classic in Citi Field, September 13th. We are, 5 years away from COVID. You will get more fans and more tickets sold and more of a social media pop and a draw if you play some kind of game. So the Yankees are going to play softball.
I don't know if the Mets are playing softball. They might actually be playing baseball. Who knows? I'll be playing softball this Saturday at Bernie Williams' celebrity softball game, weather permitting. I really do want to play though. So like, I hope it doesn't rain. I really hope it doesn't rain. Cause I want to rock. Like I haven't played in 2 years because I've moved and I had a kid and all this other stuff that's going on. Like I got my jersey last year going to Bernie's wine event, and I was like, the FOMO was killing me, missing out. And I'm not much of a baseball player or whatever, but I'm a good enough athlete where like I'm gonna make some plays. I'm looking forward to playing too because they got guys like Nicky Casano. You guys know Nicky Cass from TikTok and Instagram. His videos. He's a comedian. He's great at doing impersonations. Nick and Jojo Scarlata, the Scarlata twins. They're playing. So, like, there's going to be some younger guys this year. John Jastrzemski will be out there. My guy, JJ, your guy, JJ After Dark. The great Sweeney Murdy will be out there. And then there's also players mixed in. Doc Gooden, Jim Leyritz, Shane Spencer, the home run dispenser. Yeah, looking forward to it. My guy, Jake from the Bronx Zoo will be out there playing. So, it's always fun to mix it up. I don't even have a glove. I got some cleats. I'll just borrow somebody else's glove. I've been meaning to do that. Go buy a glove, actually break it in, and have a glove for these softball games. But usually I just go and I'll take somebody's glove that's not in the field, or somebody brings extra gloves. Run down some fly balls out there. Looking forward to it Saturday, Ridgefield, Connecticut. Go to ridgefieldplayhouse.org for tickets. And the dopest thing about it is like after the game, Bernie and his friends break out into a full-on concert. So if this weather holds up, as I'm about to check the weather app now, a few years ago, before my son was born, 2022, yeah, it had to be 2022. It was an amazing day. I was honored to just be a part of it because I got to play with Mariano, Jeff Nelson, Mookie Wilson, Willie Randolph. And then we got to chop it up after, and the weather was awesome for the concert. Yeah, it's saying Saturday, 75% chance of rain. That's whack. I'm gonna pray on it. I always pray for weather. I'm gonna pray that forecast changes. All right, let's get back to the conversation here on the Fan in New York. Inside the 1 a.m. hour, we already did Big Shot. I already told you something cool, and yeah, now I want to hear from you on the Yankees, on the Mets, and on the Knicks. If you're just tuning in now, it seems like nobody wants to help the Knicks. All their requests are being denied. Anybody that's got a coach that the Knicks are interested in, they're saying, no, you can't talk to our guys. We're going to keep our guys. So it seems like the Knicks are going to fault into hiring an unknown or a rookie head coach, or I don't know. I really can't call it. I'll cue up some audio for that as well. And then we're coming off of a new series where the Washington Nationals are in Queens and the Yankees are out facing the Royals in Kansas City, and we take the first game, and you feel good about taking the series. A completely different game on both sides. The Yankees with a blowout, a little trouble at the end getting those last outs, and then the Mets wait till the end, knowing that they can walk them off, and they do so in 10 innings, winning 5-4. Yankees win 10-2. Let's get back to the phones and talk about it. Tito out in Yonkers is next on the Fan. What's up, Tito?
Hey, I'm a new listener of yours, and it took me a bit to get used to you. First time I tuned into you, you were very Yankees for me, but you're an acquired taste, and I've actually enjoyed it more and more each time I listen to you. So thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
I thought that maybe you were just two Yankees for me, but then again, Evan and Joe, they're two Mets. So that's okay.
We're fans.
I'm a Mets fan. They're all fans, and that's what it's going to be.
We try as much as we can to be neutral or play it down the middle, but I always say I don't know anybody that's really like that. Anybody that's gone through the battles and the scars and the as a fan, like even being a radio host, like we lean into certain things, but like you're it's always going to come out what you truly are. And I wouldn't think you're really a fan if you were able to just play it straight down the middle. I'd be like, what games did you watch? What what stadium were you in? Like, you must not have really been watching and living it.
There's very few hosts on the Fan that you can't tell in what they talk about, what their real allegiance is. But you're one of them, and that's I've actually come to love you over time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
But so my question to you is that like right now, I hate to say this kind of stuff, but someone's going to regress on both teams, right? Or someone may get injured on either team, the Mets, the Yankees. Which of our star players do you think could be replaced if they were to have to miss 4 to 6 weeks on each team? Which do you see a person that could slot into one of our Lindor spots, one of our Alonso spots, one of our Rodones, one of our Goldschmidts, one of our Judges, Freeds, those kind of guys? Who could slot in for Ben Rice or someone like that?
Yeah, I was going to say that the timing right now.
To lose most.
I haven't mentioned it. Stanton is coming back. He's with the Somerset Patriots. I saw he went 2 for 3. Had a double, worked a walk. If Ben Rice was to get hurt, knock on wood, then there you go with him. And even if Ben Rice did go down, they could DH Dominguez, they could DH Judge, they could kind of play musical chairs with the outfield. The outfield situation right now, like Trent Grisham has regressed some, and they figured it out there. I think obviously Judge is the biggest guy that you can't replace. Like Judge is not just his impact, hitting the ball 500 feet, but like the way he leads. Now, same thing with the Mets. Like Lindor, when he had the pinky toe scare, I'm like, this is the guy they can't lose. Like I feel like his defense, his leadership, they can't lose him. Who is the backup shortstop for the Mets? Like you don't want to know. You don't want to live in that world. Juan Soto, and not even like trolling or joking. Juan Soto, you could figure out how to survive without, because you could put Marte out there in right field and you could make some moves there.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso.
And he can come back from injury and DH. He could also DH come back from injury. We don't have to have him in right field every day.
Yeah, Pete Alonso right now, he's just been so clutch and so money and hitting in the cleanup spot. Pete Alonso right now, his power, you can't really replace that. There's nobody else on the team that is even close to him with the power numbers and the runs back. Like he's having a hell of a year. In the infield, like right now, you've already played musical chairs, right? You've seen Mauricio, Beatty, Vientos at third base, even at second base. McNeil has come back, but Acuna was there. Beatty was there. Those guys are all kind of interchangeable. I don't know. Right now,
Alvarez on the paternity list today. I was actually like, okay, we could deal with that.
You're fine. But honestly, Terrence goes over 4.
Yeah,
didn't matter. But like at least you have Terrence. And there were some fans. I know Frank the Tank, when they first said that Francisco Alvarez was going on paternity leave, they're like, give him an extra week, like so you could see Terrence more. But
say that, though.
No, you need the depth. You need options. And both of these teams have depth and options, and both of these teams have help on the way. Honestly, the Mets have a bunch of guys hurt. For them to be playing this well, I said it the other night, for them to be playing this well with Sean Manaea down, Frankie Montas down, Jose Siri down, Jesse Winker down, guys coming back and having the trade deadline at their, coming up soon at their disposal, like you have just this feeling of like, the rich are going to get richer. They're only going to get better. Mark Vientos is down right now. Like, they're going to get guys back. Jesse Winker. Did I say Jesse Winker? Like, they're going to get guys back, and they're going to make trades for guys. And they haven't missed a beat plugging in the guys that they've had to plug in.
Yes, sir. Can I ask you a weird question about podcasting real quick, just off sports?
Yeah.
All right. So I listen to a show called Stuff You Should Know. And I've been listening to the show since 2008, so I started to listen to the beginning. So now, they come out with a new show every week, like you probably did when you were a podcaster, right? If I'm listening to the old shows, has that affected their listens? Like, are they getting less money because I'm not hearing their new shows yet?
No. That old stuff is great to have. The downloads will still count.
Yeah.
And I think it's great when you see these podcasts that have, these, they're doing now episode 800. It's great when they have
2000s.
When they have evergreen podcasts that you can go back and listen to. A lot of sports podcasts, you can't go back and listen to a podcast from last week because it's dated. It doesn't it doesn't resonate. It's great to have
Yeah.
an evergreen podcast, like I'm assuming you're talking about, where stuff you should know. They're
Yeah.
just giving you information on stuff. I guess you'll eventually catch up, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't
One
affect
day.
it doesn't affect their money at all. You're helping them, no, regardless. You're the downloads and with their advertisers, those numbers they can share with the people that they're doing ad reads for, and all that data is collected.
Awesome. Well, Keith, I plan to listen to you continuously. I didn't like you in the beginning. No, I wouldn't say I didn't like you, but I like you now. That's all that matters.
I appreciate it.
Man.
Thanks for the call, Tito. And a lot of people don't like me, and I don't care. Like, I don't care. Sometimes I like that. Like I like that energy. Like, I'm not looking for unanimous love. I get enough love. But like, you need some hate too. I think the other day I said love is love, hate is hate. I've kind of just evolved to the point where, like, I'm not going back and forth with people. I don't care. I don't care. There's no such publicity as bad publicity. And like, especially in radio, you need people to hate you. You need people to hate listen. The most successful guys on the radio have people, I hate his show. Like, people have written, like, I have a video coming out on my YouTube, and shout out to the people on YouTube watching right now. We worked on this. I have a video coming out, me reading like mean tweets and like hate comments. And I'm a nice guy. Like, if you ever meet me or you ever run into me, I show everybody respect because I was just raised that way. And I also been disrespected by people. I'm still disrespected by people that don't know who I am and don't care who I am, and they just judge off of appearance. I don't treat anybody like that. I treat everybody with respect. But I understand, like Tito just said, it's an acquired taste. My style is not for everybody. I'm not trying to sound like anybody else. I'm not trying to sound like anybody you heard on WFAN before. I'm not trying to be the next whoever came before. I'm the first and only Keith McPherson. Keith McPherson is not for everybody. It says more about you than me if you're not feeling me. 888-808-1019. Dave in Rockland County's next on the fan. What's up, Dave?
Thanks for taking my call. First of all, solid game from the Yankees today. Also, Ben Rice, have you looked at his average the past 7 games and even the past 15 games?
Yeah, didn't he? He's come back down to earth a little bit.
Come back down to earth. He's hitting 340 in his last 7 games.
Okay, maybe not in his average. No, look, I'm looking at his average right now. In his last 7 games, he's hitting 167.
Wells?
Oh, I thought you said Ben Rice.
No. I said Ben Rice. I meant to say Austin Wells.
Wells, I read his average earlier. I read what he's doing. He has kind of gotten out of the doghouse. I said that he won't be the whipping boy. Ben Rice, in his last 7 games, he's kind of regressed. But Wells has had a great week. I just gave him big shot of the night. I don't know if you just tuned in, but I was saying, Wells, like, Wells is doing it, and people want to make him the whipping boy. And at the bottom of the lineup, he's whipping ass. And then I went to his last 7 games, and I hit him with that 348 and the 2 homers, the 6 hits, 9 ribbies. Like, Wells is finding it. I even hit him with the stat from Katie Sharp about him against left-handed pitching. Like, he's starting to look like what we wanted him to look like, and we can only hope that he keeps it going and it's not just a small sample size here.
Yeah. Another thing. Regarding Max Fried, right? You're with me?
Yeah.
Regarding Max Fried, is it just me, or I'm starting to get a tiny bit worried about him?
Why? Because he gave up that bomb to Jonathan India?
Not just that, just he had less strikeouts today. He was very good, but he usually gives us like 6, 7, 8, I don't know, maybe 9, but today he gave up 4. He had 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, he might blow your parlay, but ultimately, when Max Fried pitches and it's Max Fried day, there's a level of confidence that the whole team has. He has really become the ace. It's kind of like when Garrett Cole day. He's like that. Some days he'll have 7, 8 strikeouts. Some days he'll have 4. And I think that's because of the type of pitcher he is. What I love about Max Fried too, his pickoffs and him fielding his position. Like, Max Fried fields his position like he's mad they made him get off the mound. Like, he's got he had like a snarl today when he had to go make that play. I'm like, this dude is a master. He is a master of his craft. He is arguably the best free agent signing of this MLB season. I don't know where this Yankees team would be without him. 91 pitches today. He gives you 7 innings. I don't need him to strike out the world, especially in a game where the Yankees have 16 hits, 10 runs, save some for the next run. Yeah, I was fine with his performance today. 6 hits, it is what it is. 2 runs, India got him. But yeah, sometimes it's he's striking everybody out. They can't touch him. Other times they were playing defense behind him today.
100%. I was after that loss to the Red Sox, I was starting to get a drop worried. But like I still have confidence in him. What? Oh, the Dodgers, right? My bad.
Yeah, you're good. That's what I'm here for, Dave. Thanks for the call. 888-808-119. I don't know if you were testing me on some of that stuff or what. I don't know everything, but I gotta keep us in bounds here. Like Wells is the one hitting right now. Rice got behind home plate with the catcher's mask and equipment on, but if you or Rice, got behind home plate, but if you look at his last 7 games, he's not hitting, he's regressing some. But you kind of knew that, right? Like, that's the thing I was saying. Maybe I said this on the Sunday Sauce show. We always got to refresh our information. And even me, you got to do it daily. Sometimes a couple days will go by, or a weekend will come, or I'll be preoccupied, or I got daddy duty, or got to be a good husband or son, or do something, and might not be able to sit down and watch a whole game. And if you don't look at that box score, if you don't look at these stats, a week goes by, and a week can change a lot. And I mean, there are a lot of people who watch baseball like that, and that is fine. But I think at least when you're in the media and on a radio host, you gotta be on top of that stuff. Because if somebody calls and tells you what the caller was just telling me, and I just go along with it, yeah, no, you gotta know. It was Max Fried's start against the Dodgers that you were like, damn, that first game. Shout out to the Somerset Patriots. I'm rocking the Somerset Patriots hat on the stream. Big G was out there. I was at the Somerset Patriots game that Friday night. And so I listened on my ride back, and I'm like, out of all the nights for Max Fried to not have it, Ohtani rocked him twice, and the Yankees gave up that lead, but that game you could kind of blame on Max Fried, and he's hard to put blame on because he's been so brilliant. I'm rocking a Max Fried shirt right now, Land of the Freed, with the Star Spangled Banner, the Uncle Sam hat, and then Bronx, New York, USA under it. If you guys are on the YouTube on the live stream or Twitter on the live stream, I just had it up there in the chat. He's become obviously the favorite pitcher that you want to watch, but one of my favorite guys on the team. He's a boss, and we needed this guy. When we go back to the Soto stuff, as much as we wanted Juan Soto, you sign Juan Soto, you're not getting Max Fried. Everything works out. Juan Soto's balling for the Mets now. It took a little while, but that's okay. It's a long season. It's a long season. And what did I tell y'all? I said in June Juan Soto was going to get going because he's going to try and make an all-star team. He's all about himself. He wants to be in the all-star. I've seen him at every all-star I've been to in the last few years. He's going to try and be on that all-star team. So he's going to be stat padding for real. He's going to turn it on. And then, even I talked the other night about how Scott Boras said it was a mental hurdle that he had to clear, going back to Yankee Stadium, going back and facing those fans. He's a human being. Even though he's a cyborg out there on the field, he can't escape all the stuff that he's heard and all the stuff that all of us have heard. Oh, Juan Soto, when he comes back to Yankee Stadium. Oh, Yankee fans are chanting F Juan Soto in Yankee Stadium. What are they going to do when he comes back? That's done. That's almost a month ago. Pretty soon we'll be getting ready for the Citi Field version of the Subway Series. And I hope both of these teams are in first place. I hope they keep winning. I hope they have good leads. I hope that's got a lot of juice. I hope that 4th of July weekend, that's awesome. People are asking me if I'm going. I don't plan on going to that. It's just too far. And not on a holiday weekend. I went to the Friday and Saturday in the Bronx. And congratulations to the Met fan. Somebody added me, and what I did was take the stats. When I was reading you guys the stats from Juan Soto in June, somebody added me in the thread. They're like, "Where's Keith McPherson been at lately?" On the fan, online. I just don't have anything to say about Juan Soto because he's Juan Soto, bro. Here's what I'll say about Juan Soto. Now's the time to start betting on him. Now I'm about to get back on the handy dandy FanDuel app and start betting on him because he's going on a tear. Frank is in Baldwin. Before we break, Frank, you're in there. What's up, man?
Cherry MVP. How you doing, my friend?
I forget that one. That's a good one. I'm good. How are you?
All right. I have an idea. If you're the Marlins GM and I call you up and say, hey, you give me Alcantara and your best, and maybe one of your top relievers, maybe even your closer, I'll give you Mark Vientos and a prospect. Would you do that trade?
Sandy Alcantara and who else?
And one of their bullpen guys, probably their closer, maybe one of their better bullpen guys, bullpen help.
For Mark Vientos and a prospect?
And a minor league prospect. Mm-hmm.
No, they're gonna for Alcantara. They're gonna, even though he hasn't had a great year, there's gonna be a bigger ask for him. It's not gonna be 2 for 2. Like they're gonna want a haul for that guy. I think they're gonna want like 2 or 3 prospects for that guy.
Isn't it in his final year of contract?
No, I think he's under control for another year.
Oh, I thought he was a free agent. Okay, wow. So I got to pump that up then. Oof.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like at his age, 29, and his contract, and it sucks that he's not having a good year. It's like in the beginning of the year, everybody was talking about, him being the top guy that, either the Mets or the Yankees would go after. But yeah, he's with his current deal, with whoever trades for him and gets him, he's under control for the next 2 seasons. So, like, he's still, and maybe somebody can fix him. You know who I bet could fix him? Jeremy Hefner and the Mets pitching lab. Thanks for the call, Frank. 888-808-1019. I still do want to read from that article where Pete Alonso gives his reasons for re-signing with the Mets. It's an obvious, like, he wasn't going to go anywhere else. And when we come back, I'll float to trade deadline rumors that I saw online with the Yankees. One I like, one I don't like. So more to do, and we'll also play some audio when we come back from PJ Carlissimo talking about the Knicks and Brian Windhorst, and then we'll wrap this thing up, and I'll be out of the way for Big Mac to come through and talk about Tom Thibodeau and Jason Kidd now. It's about to be a wrap. That's off the tape. I'll be tuned in to hear Big Mac's reaction because he's going Knicks. He's a Knicks fan, and this is the best Knicks season. And James Dolan came in, and he's ruined everything. Keith McPherson on the Fan. I'll be right back.
You're juggling work, life, and receivers who can't catch a cold. We get it.
Okay, I switched the mic now. Back to me. I want to send, please, some audio. Please, Knicks audio. PJ Carlissimo.
All right, so I sent you PJ Carlissimo. Oh, okay. Please, taking calls. Yo, why is my MacBook about to die? Can I get some juice?
You know, they got beaten 7 last year in the second round. This year they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, come on. Everybody said the roster is really good. It's a good roster. It's not a great roster. And he's got a couple of non-defenders that he has playing adequate defense. They weren't nearly as good defensively as they used to be. And I thought that was, partially because of the trade. I I just think it's unfair. I thought he did a great job. The excitement and everything in New York was great. And I'm saying, where are they going? I don't understand. I don't know who made the decision.
Yeah, we all know. And when we say I don't know who made the decision, that's basically saying the guy that was making the right decisions to get the Knicks here, he didn't make this decision. And I don't know. People are scared to just call out James Dolan, and I get it. It's like, because we all want to go to the Garden. You don't want to be on that facial recognition where they say that's the guy, get him up out of here. But yeah, this is got Dolan's fingerprints all over it. Dolan decided to end this. He will have to be instrumental in fixing this and starting anew. Tony's in Montreal on the Fan. Go for it, Tony. You're on.
How you doing? I was laughing, Keith, when you said you were listening to me snoring, man. I'm telling you, I'm sorry you guys have to hear that. It must have been scaring you guys. But anyway,
it happens to me all the time. People fall asleep on my show. I think Kareem from the Bronx fell asleep last week. My guy Schmitty, who runs the dugout, he's like, "Yo, you have me cracking up because you let him go." And
yeah, you let me go. You guys, he was letting me go, man. That's terrible. You guys are spoofing on me, but I gotta love it, man. I gotta love it. It's unbelievable. You guys have a fraternity. It's unbelievable. Listen, New York with 8 major teams in New York, and you have guys like Thibodeau. I started watching the Knicks because of the way they were playing, and I'm one of those, far left fans. I don't really know a lot about, but I can see as an evaluator in hockey when teams are getting tired, and when you slay the dragon and you beat the former champions, and then you get turfed by management, and you don't even know who in management makes that decision. I gotta feel bad for this guy Thibodeau, because beating Boston Celtics is not a simple thing. I mean, they went out, they didn't expect to do that, and they did it. And of course, Siakam is a great player, and you see, I believe Siakam's team. The Pacers are minus 700 to win any games in the finals, and they're still 1-1. So it tells you basketball, like hockey, anything can happen. And I just want to say a couple of things, Keith, if you don't mind. I don't appreciate what they did to Tibbs, because it sends a signal to the rest of the league, like the coach that was just speaking of, Carlissimo, is that his name? The way he's speaking, it sends a signal to the rest of the league. No matter what you do, even if you win and even you do great, one day you're in, one day you're out. Who is going to come and coach that team? Even, okay, maybe 30 mil is going to get you there. But, these are professional coaches, man. And that's why you don't win when you have all the money and it's concentrated in one person that can really do, let's say, pull a lot of strings. And that happens also with the Rangers, because Dolan has a lot of pull with who he administers as a GM. Another thing I just want to say, because I know you guys are not aware, you must be aware of this. Lane Hudson, a kid from Michigan, won the Rookie of the Year. And the last time that was done in Montreal was Ken Dryden in 1971. And what I want to say about that is that all those Canadian hockey players, all those supposedly unbelievable stars in the Quebec Major Junior, Ontario, none of them in those, how many years is it? 45, 46 years, have not won it. And an American kid comes up, everybody was poo-pooing him, saying he's too small. But when Timber Tony, the guy that's talking right now on the radio, posted and spoke on the Delmar show after the Habs game, Game 1 against Detroit, he came in, and I said he played at BU the night before. I said, this kid's going to score 60 points. This kid is as good as Quinn Hughes. This kid's going to be the Rookie of the Year. And they all told me, Keith, that I was full of it, that I didn't know what I was talking about. I was exaggerating. And I've seen superstar hockey players. It take me a game to tell you that kid was great. And you know what's good about it, Keith? He's an American kid. He's an American kid that won the Rookie of the Year in Montreal, where nobody in Montreal has won it since Ken Dryden. And I got to say, that sends a signal to Canadian hockey that American collegiate hockey is doing better than Ontario or Quebec Major Junior hockey. Mm-hmm. And by the way, there are 2 great basketball players from Montreal in the finals, Mathurin, and I can't pronounce the other guy's name, but they're both from the same town, Montreal North, and they're in the finals. And guess what, Keith? I can't say there are two hockey players in the finals right now in the NHL finals. There's not two hockey players born in Quebec or born in Montreal, but we have two Canadian basketball players from Montreal North. Could you believe that?
Yeah,
No one would ever believe that.
You said Matherin, Andrew Nemhard, and obviously Shea Gilgeous-Alexander are Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're from Montreal.
And I know about Mathurin because he's a star and his brother got killed in some crazy event in Montreal. And they're from the Haitian community. But what kills me is you got 9 or 10 million Quebecois. Those are what I would call let's say, black people, okay? And you have a small community of Haitian people, maybe 100,000, and they produce 2 NBA stars in the NBA finals, and they're Canadians. You got to say what's going on with hockey when 10 million people can't produce 2 hockey players in the finals. And that's truth. That's the numbers, Keith. And that means a lot because sports. Not all sports like hockey attracts rich athletes, rich families, and not people in the middle class and lower middle class. But if all hockey players were able to play on an even keel, you get a lot of Evander Kane's in the NHL, who is one of my favorite hockey players. And if you like hockey players, he's the guy that played like the Mamba. Okay, he is a Mamba. He is an unbelievable hockey player. If you watch him, you're going to love this guy, and I love him a lot. And, when I'm watching athletes, Keith, I want to see guys that are exceptional, that can play, and that can continue. And this kid, Lane Hudson, is a superstar. He's going to be a superstar for a long time. Kudos to the people that drafted him because he's an undersized hockey player. He's not even 5'8", Keith. You got to watch this guy. He's worth the money just to go and watch him play. Even if you are cheering for the Rangers, he's an amazing hockey player. And by the way, the guy that called you in and said that you're not his flavor, and you're an acquired taste, I didn't like that call. You're an amazing guy, just like C-Mac is. And if a guy from Montreal is listen to you.
He said it first. He said, I don't know. Now he loves me. And that's fine.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, try that on your wife tonight. Hey, I didn't like you at first, but now I love you. See how much love you get after that.
Thanks for the call, Tony. 888-808-1019. At first, I wasn't trying to hit on my wife. My wife will tell you that straight up. At first, my wife wasn't rocking. My wife actually is someone that she didn't like me at first. I definitely am an acquired taste. To know me is to love me. I don't take offense to that at all. Like, my wife will tell you straight up. My wife talks about my last name. She said my last name stood out, and now that's her last name. But she remembered people talking about me, and I was with the football players. So football players a lot of time call you by your last name. When training camp starts, you get a sticker across your helmet that says your last name so you can be identified. So a lot of and I transferred in to Monmouth University. And when I transferred into Monmouth University, I ended up being in the dorm with a lot of the freshmen. We were all new. And so I remember running with a lot of the freshmen and pulling up on them. And they would just be like, yo, McPherson's coming. Or, yeah, we're about to link with McPherson. And so my wife said she knew that name. And I was loud. And I was definitely wild. And I was coming in from JMU. So, like, I was coming in with an energy like, yo, I'm coming in from a better school. I'm coming in from a better football program. I'm coming in and I'm judging things at Monmouth. Like, yo, we didn't do this at JMU. We had better at JMU. The dorms were better. The food was better, this and this. So, like, my wife was not feeling me at first. And that's fine because I wasn't checking for her either. Not for nothing. I never had a problem in that category. That was never anywhere that I struggled. And then, like, I'm from Monmouth County. So, like, even when I got to school at Monmouth University, like, I had girls that lived around the corner, straight up. Like, I had girls that went to Shore Regional. I had girls that went to Long Branch, that went to my high school, Ocean Township, that were around. So I wasn't even trying to hit on that many girls at the U. And we just ended up hanging out and being around each other. And she got to learn about me. And after a while, wear on you, man. After a while, 888-808-1019. I don't take offense to that. Like, so much of the radio as well is like, you got to like somebody's voice. If I can't hear your voice, like in my head, if you have a voice or even like a vernacular or lingo that I can't listen to you for long. And I know I'm not for everybody. And then, even just your approach, there's so many people whose approach, I think they try to be somebody else. I'm promising you, I am not trying to be anybody but myself. When you hear me talk, wherever I am, like I wanted to play this clip tonight. Actually, please check your email. I sent you another audio clip, and we'll talk about Pete Alonso. But I have this clip, and you might be able to find it online. It's Kyrie talking about Karl Anthony Towns. And I can't play it because it's from Kyrie Irving's live stream, and he curses. But he's saying, y'all got to stop making fun of my brother Cat. And he says the S word in it, which we'd have to dump. He says, if I see you reposting that S again, I'm attacking you. He's like, not like that, but like, he's taking up for Cat. He's saying, y'all don't know what it's like to grow up in Jersey. All these cultures. I don't agree all the time when he be changing up his tone. It's like Karl Anthony Towns and Tyrese Halliburton. They have different tones. They have different ways that they speak. But I like that Kyrie, like I grew up in Jersey too, so I understand what he's saying. But I like that Kyrie was basically saying like, Karl Anthony Towns, this was his words, Karl Anthony Towns is black, Karl Anthony Towns is Dominican. And then he said Karl Anthony Towns grew up in like North Jersey, Central Jersey, where he grew up, and it is a melting pot. And he's like, and you got to survive. And these guys are playing, they're going to like private schools, but then they're playing AAU basketball. I played AAU basketball. You're going to play against different kids from different places. You got to kind of be a chameleon. You got to kind of be able to, get in where you can fit in. And every group is not the same. Kyrie Irving and Karl Anthony Towns, and even like a Jalen Brunson, right? People expect them to speak a certain type of way because they're black. And then when you hear them speak, they might throw you off a little bit if you're going to be, prejudiced and think that they're supposed to sound a certain kind of way. But then when you learn about them and learn about where they're from and see how they came up, it makes a little bit more sense. Transitioning into what I was saying about Pete Alonso, this article in Sports Illustrated, before I get out of here, Fleegs, if you can queue up Pete Alonso on the Bleacher Report app, shout out to Bleacher Report. I used to do streams on Bleacher Report, and then Mookie's show started, and they've really taken it to another level. But Bleacher Report was always solid. I always dreamed of working at Bleacher Report, and was able to do that. And this Mookie Betts show is so solid because Mookie is great, and he just, anytime that they're facing a team in LA, somebody pulls up and they talk to him. So Mookie Betts on his show On Base, funny enough, I was on MLB Network on a show called Off Base. Mookie Betts interviews Pete Alonso about re-signing with the Mets this past winter. Here's what Pete Alonso had to say.
You signed a 2-year to stay with the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about being a Met that you just love?
Going through free agency, I wanted to go be in an environment where we are going for it. We are trying to win baseball games. We are competing, and we're trying to hold up the trophy at the end of the year. Check. Am I going to get at-bats and stuff like that? Like, check. And then at that point, like, are we trying to win? Yes. But what about the personnel? How am I going to fit with the personnel? Are we going to have dudes, right? You can't just be one-man band, like, trying to take on the league. Can't do that. So I'm like, okay, this is legit. We have the familiarity, which is great because they know me, I know them, I know what I'm going to get. It's not a different environment. I mean, that organization is really special because they've believed in me when I was a 21-year-old kid. Okay, we'll come back in free agency. So we appreciate that. But all those boxes, check.
I mean, what else do you need to know? Like, what else do you need to hear? Fret not, Met fans. This dude is about to break Darryl Strawberry's record. This dude is about to be a Mets All-Star again. If you've heard me speak about it, I'm working on getting to Atlanta for the All-Star game again. Like 2 years ago, I told you I was at Pete Alonso and Julio Rodriguez party in Seattle. And like Pete is always Mr. Met at the All-Star game. he's always representing the Mets and telling these other players, hey, come play for the Mets. It's a great environment, great fan base, great ballpark, great owner. And he just rattled off 4 different things that told you he was never going anywhere. And I think the thing about Steve Cohen is he wants these fans to love him and love the Mets. He wants to exterminate the pessimistic Met fan, or however he worded it. And he has so much money, it doesn't change his day. He's not thinking about it. You know? Like, this is a guy that is not going to let Pete Alonso just walk away for a difference of $50 million. Like, I think we had a call earlier, like, oh, you know, the next team's got to pay $50 million more. And I was like, annually? Or were we talking about the total contract? It doesn't matter. The other thing is, like, this past year, they had the qualifying offer on Pete. That scared a lot of teams away. Also, all these teams should be scared away when you're dealing with Steve Cohen. He's the richest owner in the sport. And he seems to be on a path to, like, not be deterred and not be stopped. And when he wants something, he's going to get it. Bro, he just paid Juan Soto $765 million. He gave him a suite, gave his mom a clothing allowance, gave his family a security detail, and there are rumors about his family having access to a jet. You think he's not going to accommodate Pete Alonso and have them in a tandem together? Pete Alonso just said, right, this organization believed in me from 21 years old. Right? He knows he's going to get at bats. When, like, think about the other team that was rumored, the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't know. We were talking about Pete and Vladdy platooning and, like, who was going to DH, who was going to play first base. Like, he doesn't have to worry about that. He's the first baseman of the New York Mets, and the Mets are good. And stop worrying about the future so much. I know it's tough. We all do that. But you got to get through today. Like, you got to get through the next hour before you can jump to October and then jump to the winter meetings. All right, I'm about to jump in the car for real. I got to go home. This was an easy, quick show. Hopefully I entertained you and hit you with some stuff you didn't know. I did my best to condense my show about the Mets, about the Yankees, about the Knicks. I didn't even give you the two. Merrill Kelly is the Yankee trade deadline target that I'm not interested in. Luis Robert Jr. is the one that I am interested in. And I'm interested to hear what Chris McMonagle has to say next. Good night.
Sports Radio 101.9 FM. It's BT and Sal, middays 10 to 2 on the Fan 101.
Okay. So, yeah, the way I rigged that up, mic, headphones, that's one test. Like, I'm going to speak with engineering and see if there's a better way. But that way you could hear the calls better. And I don't know, just working on some stuff to make this a better stream. And, like, what you were able to get there was the true radio sound, you know, the true radio audio, which is better for what we're doing. You're using OBS. I'm not using OBS. And I have a program called Loopback. But the problem I've run into is this new MacBook has all like lightning outlets. They don't have, like, true audio ports. There's only one external audio port where I don't need the output. I need the input. I need to run the audio from the headphone jack into this MacBook, and it's just like it's not set up for that. I would need a whole like a Focusrite, and, like, I don't want to buy a $100 Focusrite for it. So I'm just working on some things. We will get there. We will get there. Work in progress, you can say. I didn't even set up this webcam. I didn't have time. You know, I brought in the 4K webcam, didn't even get to it. It's fine. Not a problem. Not a problem. None of it is a problem because y'all rock with me, man. I appreciate it for real. Like, got a little community here that likes to talk sports and listen to calls, and it's so random, right? You never know what anybody's gonna say. You don't know what I'm gonna say. You don't know what stories I'm gonna tell. So appreciate y'all for being a part of it. All right, I gotta slide. I'm not even tired though. Like, that's the thing. Now I gotta get tired. I gotta take some magnesium, some melatonin, Zysol. Yeah. But now I'll go back and compare the audio from tonight with past streams and see what it sounds like. We'll do this again tomorrow. MacBooks aren't much for streaming, but maybe a adapter or a hub. That's what I'm saying. That's the Focusrite would be the thing to do. But like, I don't have an extra $100 to blow on that. I don't know. Maybe honestly, you guys have chipped in over $100 in the stream, so I should just go ahead and do it. But all right, that's all I got. I got to get out of here tomorrow.